you ready to discover who you came here to be? Welcome to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. Human Design is a system and a tool that is here to empower you and show you your greatest potential. Come learn with us and discover who you really are. Hi friends, Crystal here. New year and new you, and boy, do we have some new tools for you to help you transform your life into the one you have always dreamed of. We have some new ways for you to connect with us outside of the show. So we have a free guide on tips and tricks to honoring your strategy and authority. We also have a language manual to your true self to help you understand the key terms in human design and how to apply them to reading your human design chart and also to your life. And we are so happy to announce doors are now open for the Cosmic Community, which is a no commitment or 5-month commitment package to connecting with us over in our private Facebook group. You will have the chance to connect with Leah and myself each month with our premium episodes through our Program Plus monthly forecast. There's also weekly aura energy updates, weekly tarot card pulls connected to a human design gate, monthly market shares for fellow entrepreneurs to share their work, and exclusive bonus content you will not be getting anywhere else from us. Come join the Cosmic Community to understand how to utilize the transits to your advantage and have a safe space to learn, grow, and connect. And we also have our children's class called Nurture Your Child Through Their Design. And our most popular classes are our variable mini classes, which are bite-sized, self-paced audios and guidebooks on the first 2 transformations. And if you want to stay connected with some education and love from us, join our email list and check out our website, which you can find that and every offer I just discussed down below in the show notes. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you over on our next episode. Welcome to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. I'm Crystal.
And I'm Leah.
And this is the podcast you've been waiting for.
My chair got stuck underneath my desk.
I know. Yeah. I need to move. I didn't have time to move my desk this week because I have a day bed that I meditated. I mean, you've seen my setup over in the corner where I want to move where the wallpaper is. And then this desk is also heavy that I have. So I have to build up the momentum or ask Dave, but I'm not going to ask him. I'm going to do it myself. I'll probably hurt myself in the process because I'm a third line.
Oh my gosh. Have you seen the video going around of the girl who's like, I could have waited for my husband to help me, but I want to show him a strong woman. And she's got like this big, tall, like hutch on a dolly, and the hutch falls and the dolly hits her in the back of the head and almost knocks her out.
God,
I know.
That would be me. I was
like, this is the third line.
Literally be me. That would happen 150%. 150%.
Yeah. Garrett thought it was really funny. I'm like, that's because it could have been you at some point.
Yeah. We laugh, we bring the excitement to people. I feel like third lines, like you're always like, what are you going to do now? Or how are you going to like fall on your face now? How are you going to fuck this shit up? Like people say they love watching me, and I'm just like, is it just because I'm always like a train wreck? Like, is that what's happening here?
Yeah. Corinna is, because she's a 6-2. She's on line 3 right now.
Yeah.
And she is an actual walking disaster. She everything hurting herself. Yeah, and they're kids, so
Yeah.
they're like they don't have great coordination
Yeah,
anyway.
they don't.
But
Yeah.
it's all the time. It's
Oh,
crazy.
I've never seen Otis is actually a 1-3 also like me. And I've never seen a child hurt themselves more in my life than I've seen that kid. He falls over air. And that's what we do. We trip over air. It's like, the universe comes and smacks us in the face like 20
Yeah.
times a day. Mom is like, where did I get that bruise? What is that?
Yeah.
I saw a paper cut. I'm like, I didn't even touch paper today. I'm like, how did I get this paper cut like in this weird spot of like my nail inside over here? How,
Oh,
I was like, how did I do that? Because I was
yeah.
like cutting up strawberries and with like the acidity to it. And then it got in there and I was like, ow. I was like,
Oh,
oh my God, there's a paper cut in there. It's like,
what?
how did I do that? I don't know. I don't know how I do half the things. Otis too. I'm like, how did you just fall? Like, it's like I'm trying to think of like a reference here, but I can't think of like just like like a show or a movie where um it's like the domino effect, like where you trip over one thing and then that bangs into something and then that bangs
Mhm.
into something and before you know the entire room has come crashing down and
Yeah.
you're like
Huh.
I was just walking.
Yeah,
There's not
it was just here existing and
I was just
everything.
existing and everything just came crashing down. Oh, that's
Uh,
kind of the theme of potentials for this week. This week is a little, I'm not
mm,
sure. I have a lot of feelings, and that's kind of also what this week is. This week is full of feelings.
yeah.
I'm
It's sort
nervous.
of it sort of seems like we're in the are we now while we're recording, are we kind of in the energy of it?
Yeah,
Because it
it's
feels
like
kind of like
a
things
week
are
out.
kind of crazy right now. I
Well,
don't
we
know.
also, I mean, we have transitoriness in right
True.
now for like
Yeah.
life is what it
Life
feels.
forever.
It feels like for me as a non-emotional, and also because it's creating a full stream from where the only hanging gate that I have to
Mhm.
reach it, I have,
Mhm.
that I have in my design. So for me, it feels like forever. I'm like, this is forever. This is how we're
Yeah.
going to live now and just get used to it. And then the full stream actually also does come in for everybody this week as well.
Mm.
So we're in for a ride this week, friends.
Hang
But if
on to
you're
your
new
hats.
here, hold on a moment. If you're new here, welcome. We're so happy to have you. Thanks for bumping into us.
Yeah.
I used to say that a lot. I still say that. Like, thanks for bumping into me, but thanks for bumping into us. We've had this podcast now for a little over a year, and it's like our baby. And we love coming on here week after week. This is a podcast for a bunch of weirdos, also, if you didn't know. So if you're a fellow weirdo, welcome. Thanks for joining the club. This is called the Human Design and Astro Club because we actually started on Clubhouse originally. So we kept the name because we also, Leah's a fourth line. Leah, tell everybody what you are.
I'm a 2-4 splenic projector.
Yeah, so she's the fourth line, and I'm Kitchen's environment. Kitchen's environment is here to gather everybody together,
Mhm.
right? So I felt fitting to keep that name, the Human
Yeah.
Design and Astro Club, um, because it showcases who we are. And so this is a podcast, like we said, for a bunch of weirdos. And we come on here week after week and we talk about what's called the weekly program. And this was something that Ra, the founder of Human Design, also referred to when it came to the transits, because this is a program. Okay, this is an assimilation. This is none of this is real. If you're watching us on YouTube, you get to see all of my weird quirks. I feel like that's why a bunch of you have come over here to watch me just like be crazy and Leah to be like, what is she doing? Um, that's kind of the way that we operate. And so we come on here week after week and we talk about the weekly transits. Now, the program is what are we tuning into for this week? If you think about it as almost like episodes, is the way that I see it. So if you think about this is a movie or a show, okay? A movie or a show, and it's like what episode is coming up for the week, or what are we entering into, and what is the frequency that's being emitted from the cosmos into us, and how does that relate to our everyday life. And that's what we do on here is we take the transits and we make them practical. We make them digestible. We talk about the energy of everything. And then we also have the Program Plus, where we actually dive way deeper and we get into what the gates and channels are. We get into the circuitry. We get into the astrological placements. We also take the human design gates and we connect them to tarot. We actually tell you how that it's connected to tarot in the Program Plus. And that is potentially setting you up for your entire month on how to prepare for your entire month so you can utilize the transits to your advantage. That's what we've been learning to do. It has made our lives easier, and that's what we're here to do for you. We're here to make your life easier. Being human's hard enough. Doesn't have to be, beyond just being in the physical form of a human body. Okay. So that's what we do. We make human design astrology and tarot practical. We do have, the channel of surrender. So we do transmit this energy into more digestible, more palatable, like you can actually use it in your everyday life. So stick around because we have a lot more. Not only do we do the weekly program, we also have education episodes. If you actually go a couple episodes back than this one, we did a Q&A on human design. So we asked you guys some questions and we'll be doing it again. So if you're like, we saw you guys listening. So if you're like, I would love to get my question answered. I've been in my human design experiment now for almost 6 years. I'm a 1-3 sacral generator. I also used to work at the Kabbalah Center. So I do have a deeper understanding of this system than I would say a lot of people. I don't want to say most. I want to say most. I think the answer is most. But I'm going to humble myself and say a lot of people. I do understand the system on a very different level. This is something that I feel like why Leah and I, she stays close. She's like, this girl is like tapped in. I was literally making a reel yesterday about the channel that I create with my husband because it was our anniversary. Mm-hmm. And literally, as I was like putting out the reel, Gate 6 was in the moon. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like
happy anniversary.
Thank you.
I feel like I said it everywhere now.
You have said it everywhere now.
It's fun though. It is a good 9 is a good, like 9 years.
9 is a good year. 9 is
a really
like,
good year.
If you in numerology, it's like you're basically like wrapping things up. Yeah. You have a foundation already built. You're ready to complete, right? Hopefully just us. I look at it as we're just kind of like up leveling. We're both kind of like in a very new place in our lives than when I was looking back to when we got married. We were in our late 20s at that point. So yeah. So that's what this podcast is. Oh, we also do oh my gosh, what do we have interviews. We haven't had one in a hot minute. We have some that we're planning. We're trying to coordinate here. Oh, it's so hard to coordinate with other people between the two of our schedules and then trying to coordinate with other people. But we're figuring it out. There are some interviews in the works coming. So if you want to learn about other people's designs and the way other people, live as their designs, that's what I love, bringing people on the podcast that are embodying their design so we can talk about what they're doing. I love to showcase other people and then always kind of like bring it back to these modalities. How can we bring it back and tie it back to these modalities? And I guess I'll just put it out there right now. I'm feeling the sacral response to say this. If you would like to be interviewed on our podcast, you can reach out. We do like to have a little bit of a bond with you. So we would prefer that you have heard us. We'd love for you to have interacted with us in some way. But if you are living your design and you feel this pull now as you're listening to this and you have a modality or something that you feel like you want to share, we'd love to have you on and showcase you. So if anyone's interested in being on our podcast, you could feel free to reach out. We're going to make it, I guess, a little bit more proper at some point in the near future. You might have also been hearing commercials, other people that we are showcasing their work on our podcast, their commercials. And so we do have we've had a hidden offer for that for a while. If you've probably heard a couple people come on here now. And I create the commercial through their design. It's been kind of a fun way to do that since I have the channel of surrender. And then Leah, she's in the back end making sure everything's tied together and it's all getting out right and we're organized. So we love doing that. If you're interested in getting your work out there, you have an offer, you have a program, you have a reading that you do, and you want to reach more people because we are over 15,000 plays at this point, that we would love to have you on. So there's probably going to be a commercial a little bit later in this episode for you to find out a little bit more about that. So definitely stay tuned. What should we talk about for a moment before we dive in? There is a lot to talk about. So I don't know.
I mean, I had one tiny story that I was going to tell about we talked about the define roots last week, but I was telling Corinna to go and get dressed this morning. And she was like rolling around on the floor, like rolling up the stairs. Even Olivia, who is undefined like me, she was like, get upstairs, go get dressed. I'm like,
I know,
hey. She was going.
We feel it.
Painful. It was funny though.
And they do not care.
Nope. She was just like, whatever. Even last night, she wouldn't go to bed. I'm like, girl, get into bed. I can't read. I was like, you don't have to read. You can just look at pictures. Just go. You don't need to learn to read at 9 o'clock at night. Just go to bed. I can't sleep rolling around on the floor.
This
rolling
is the
up
time. You're on her time.
I
especially
am.
because she's an emotional and defined root. So everything operates on her time. So if she wants to learn to read at 9 p.m. at night on a Monday, or wait, no, yesterday was Wednesday.
On a Wednesday.
I'll never know what day it is.
It could have been a Monday. Yeah, she was very interesting. And I was it was already like 9 o'clock and I was sitting on the couch in my projector horizontal. My sacral was completely gone, totally gone. I couldn't even keep my eyes open. And she was like, but I need this, I need that. I'm like, Corinna, I don't have anything left in me. Here's the solution though. You can go upstairs and find a book that you can read and then I listed off all the books that I know she's read to me. Because they're like beginner ones. Yeah. And she was like, oh, okay. And went upstairs. I'm like, dang it. I mean, if I had thought of that like a half an hour.
Come on. I
know I needed to guide her.
I'm like, can you please just guide us? Even other projectors need guidance sometimes, like especially, seeing outside of yourselves as a projector. You guys can't always put 1, 2, 3, 4 together, but you see the other. So it goes for every single projector to any other type, whether it be another projector or another type. Like, just tell us what the fuck to do. Okay. I keep telling you that I need some more guidance now. I'm feeling very I feel like I've been going in and out of this like generator lull. Like I see like a window of opportunity. I like run with the baton, and then like I'm out of breath in 5 minutes. I'm like, I guess we have to rest again. And I'm just like, can we get into March already? Because seriously, these last few months have been very stagnant. We've all been feeling this. I mean, we're picking up, as I've been saying, and I said this in last week's episode, definitely go listen back to that, because part of the program that I'm going to talk about in a moment is from last week, where we go into more depth about that version. But I've just been feeling like, we're in a preparation phase for February. It's like we've been given the goods, but we're packing our bag right now. Like we're in the process of packing our bag. Maybe some of us have already packed our bag and we're already walking, but no one's exactly running yet. No one's exactly running. Like I feel like I'm going to get the baton, or maybe multiple batons, and I'm going to hide them from everybody. And I'm just going to start running. You can chase me if you want. Okay. I will try to outrun you. I do have, so I don't know if anyone's noticed. You can't see it here right now because I'm wearing a hoodie. This is actually our hoodies for the program. By the way, we like never show them. I made them and then Leah put them together. And yeah, so where did I go? I got lost with my hoodie. I was saying something and then I
Something about
lost.
we can't see it, but
See what? What was
I
I
have no
saying?
idea. You didn't get that far. Welcome to our conversations.
Oh, being an open admin, it's like you
Yeah,
think you're going
it
one
went poof.
way and then it just like literally just falls out.
Yep.
I also have not gotten a lot of sleep lately because my little generator has had a little bit of a cold and so he's also defined root. So when he is not feeling well, the rest of us get to
Pay for it.
yeah, we get to pay for it. So I have
Yep.
not been sleeping. Like the other day, he was literally because he comes into our bed every night. I keep telling him, I really need you to start staying in your bed. And he goes, okay, mommy. Lies.
No.
Just lies. Or he's just humoring me. And then, middle of the night, I hear these little footsteps running down the
Mm,
hall and
man.
and jumps right in. And then the other day he was just literally just rolling around. Like just
Ugh.
rolling around in the bed, kicking us in the back. And yeah, so whatever. I'll listen back to this and I'll be like, oh, that's what you were talking about. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It apparently was not important enough to get into this. I will say one thing though before we jump in is that I am going to a bat mitzvah this this weekend. If you don't know what a bat mitzvah is, you maybe have heard of a bar mitzvah, or if you've never heard of any of that, it's basically the Jews tell you that you're an adult. That's basically it.
Yes.
It's when you enter adulthood at 13, because that's when we're adults. Um
Sure.
Back in the day, what before we had our uranium bodies, maybe, when I
Yeah.
think about it
True.
that way, I was
Yeah. Yeah.
like, because back then, before we mutated, or people are probably like, what are you talking about? If you don't know anything about the global cycles and the shifts and the mutations that we've taken place throughout, since we became human.
Yep.
But back then, back then, you, didn't live like if you lived till 30, you were old.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause that's that we had
And lucky.
we had in lucky. I don't know. Were you lucky in that time to live till then? Like, how do I get out of here?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't guess it depends on your class then, because they did use more class structure.
True.
But back then you had a Saturnian body, right? So if you think about your Saturn return around 30, you become an adult. Um, Now, but back then, that was at the end of your life.
Mm.
So it's interesting kind of like looking at it from that perspective because like now when people, people hear about, oh, you're an adult at 13, like obviously not. And it's just more so a tradition at this point for the Jewish heritage, I guess you could say. Um but yeah, we're going to a bat mitzvah. Bat mitzvah is for a girl. That's why or ba or bas mitzvah. It depends on how you want to say that, depending on where you learned it. Um, so yeah, I'm a little nervous.
And you guys are all going, right? As a
We're,
family?
we're all going. Yes, we're
Yeah.
all going as a family. We've been preparing for a couple months now.
So you are literally packing your bags, is what
I
you're this week.
yeah, I had to get a special dress. This is also for some reason it's black tie optional for
Hmm.
for
Interesting.
13-year-olds.
Is it usually like just like a black tie event or like what is it?
Oh,
I've
it's
never been
definitely
to
not.
one,
I
so.
mean, usually not that fancy. It's just like formal,
Oh, okay.
usually formal event,
Yeah.
not black tie.
Hmm.
But it's black tie optional. Like this, like hopefully nobody listens to this from his family. Uh
I
somehow
never know how
I'm
to
like,
make those decisions though. Like, do I just overdress for
Yeah, well,
them.
especially when you do black tie optional, it's like you don't want to be like the hobo.
Yeah, like you don't want to show up in jeans, but also like a three-piece suit or a four-piece suit, or I don't even know how many pieces
Yeah,
they
because you
come
have,
in.
yeah, Dave's not doing that. He's not doing black tie. Um, I think a lot of his family's not doing it. Um, but I decided to get as fancy of a dress as possible. I'll tell you guys a secret. I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. Here comes my hanging 46 in my unconscious sun and Mercury, and also channel of surrender coming in hot. I'm about to tell you a hot take here. If, and I've already said this to Leah many times, if you're looking for a good dress for like a cocktail occasion, black tie, formal event, Bloomingdale's sale section online, strictly
Ooh,
online, okay, is where it's at. I mean, I've found some nice designer dresses on Bloomingdale sales. I mean, you really do need to know your body type. And this is where I say my hanging 46, which is love with the body. Like, I really do
mhm.
understand my body type at this point. Like, I honestly can look at uh clothing pieces and and know rough, like pretty well if it'll fit me or not, just by
Yeah,
looking at it. I don't need to try it on. I don't even like trying on clothes. A lot of stuff I order online.
yeah. It's kind of annoying at this point.
Yeah. So I found years ago Bloomingdale sales section online. Mm. You can get like things for like really, 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 really cheap, like really
Nice.
cheap and designer. So if anyone's if anyone has somewhere to go, or even just their sales section in general on Bloomingdale's is good. But I usually go there for dresses. I've gotten many dresses
Hmm,
from Bloomingdale sales online.
good to know. Okay, I have to keep that in mind in case I have
Like totally
serious.
dead serious.
Yeah.
I will also I know got everybody likes watching me when I get dressed and I like take like my full body shots. There will be a lot of full body shots of me this weekend and also my hair and makeup. Many of you know that I did hair and makeup professionally. So I will be all done up. So if you want to come into my stories, feels kind of creepy to say that. But if you I'm inviting you into my stories this weekend or just in general, because if you want to see a third line, just be a hot mess. You want to learn about human design. I share a lot in there. Sometimes I ask you guys questions, sometimes I answer questions for you. Come on over to my stories. Journey through HD. You can find it in the description down below. And also,
Mhm.
don't forget to follow Leah, the splenic projector, and don't forget to follow our joint Instagram page, Human Design Astro Club. All of it.
Yeah.
Look at all of it because, to be honest, we're not putting it all on the Human Design Astro Club page. That's like our catch-all
Right.
page, I feel like.
Yeah.
I would love to make it more than that, but as of right now, that's what it is. There will be exclusive content coming throughout the year, but it's just the two of us. We can't do it all the time.
Yeah. I'm working on some stuff
Yeah, we have some
for
stuff in
us,
the
but
works.
yeah.
So definitely follow us. Make sure you're subscribed to our email list. We are planning on putting a lot more education this year in our email list and trying to nurture you guys. So make sure you jump on our email list. We also do weekly aura memes on there. You get the cosmic codes as well in our email list. So definitely make sure you're on it.
Yeah.
So I guess we could just go ahead and dive in for the week. So hi, friends. Are you looking for a fun way to learn human design and astrology? Are you a tactile person that likes to learn with your hands? Touch cognition, perhaps? Or would like to get more in touch with your inner child while you learn human design and astrology? Well, we might have just the person and also activities that you can do to allow your inner child to be filled with joy while learning and discovering more about human design and astrology. Look no further than Innocence Motivation and 2/4 Sacral Generator, Maureen Webb, that is here to bring the generator fun. She has come out with her Defined Head in Ajna, a fun and interactive way to learn human design and astrology with her brand new coloring and activity books. Yep, that's right, there's more than one. head on over to her website through the link in our description and check out her Intro to Human Design coloring books that include key phrases, keywords, images, and a word find to color in. And wait, she also has the Good Twin and the Evil Twin coloring books out as well. More are on their way, so make sure you follow her to be in the know. She's also a human design, gene keys, and astrology reader. So pause this video right now and go pick up one of her fantastic and inspiring coloring books that will bring out the inner child in you. Hi, friends. Okay, I know you've already heard me come on here once before, but I have a very important message for you. Are you an entrepreneur, a fellow weirdo, looking to reach an audience on an offer, a program, a reading, a product that you're looking to sell? We have the channel of the entrepreneur, and we're looking to create very specific commercials for other entrepreneurs such as ourselves. If you're looking to get your voice out there, we have over 15,000 plays on this podcast, plus a YouTube channel, and we can create a very specific commercial for you to reach our audience and your message. Go down below in our description and fill out the form because there's an introductory offer waiting for you. See you over on the rest of this episode. There's a lot happening this week. We have a new moon. Okay. It's teeter-tottering on Sunday and Monday. For us, we are in Eastern time zone. It's actually happening on Monday. So if you are in the Eastern time zone, technically Monday. Okay. So, of the following week, not this Monday of what I'm talking about. So, what is this? The 13th, Monday, the 13th. I'm like, here's our calendar, by the way, for our cosmic community. It's so, it helps me out so much because I never know what day or time it is. So I just look back there and I'm like, oh yeah. Okay. Monday, we enter a new program and leave an old. Happens a lot. So the old was a focus on our principles, and it was grounding us in our logic. Okay. So please go listen or watch the last episode if you want to hear more on that. And then our new program is asking us to focus on our feelings. That is literally the theme of this week. I could just leave right now and we could be done because that's 99.9999999% of the week is going to be a focus on feelings. Okay. So we're focusing on our feelings, or the feeling that's going to arise within us. Where have you been fantasizing about going this year? Okay. Again, we're still packing our bags. And can we recognize the way that that feeling makes you feel? And that might be the question for this week. How am I feeling? How does this feeling that's arising from within, what is that doing for me? Okay. And we are being grounded in our determination and our determination of self. Okay. I'm excited for this because this is hooking up to one of my hanging gates. I'm ready. I'm ready. Take my love in a new direction. Okay. Also the theme for this week. What feelings do we want to say yes to? Okay. It's a sacred response to the direction that our vehicles want to go in this week. So that's the tone. We're Monday is always setting the tone for the week. And this is something that we talk about in the cosmic community. Doors will open on March 1st for the cosmic community if you're interested. And so we always set the tone for the month. We look at the first day. We look at this astrological sign, the moon. We look at what the gates are for that day. And it really sets the tone for the entire month and can really set you up for success just by knowing what's coming in for the energy of that day or that month. And so this is for the week. This is the energy of the week. It's going to be a real focus on feelings. And on Monday, the 13th, we have a brief sacral drive towards prosperity. And also the way our driver of our vehicle is taking us. And we also still have an emotional surge happening from what we talked about last week on our experiences. And also, for an added bonus, another emotional pressure comes in hot and pressuring ourselves to feel that feeling. So there's going to be a full stream of this week. So lots of emotional pressure and movement is going to be happening this week. There's a full stream happening from the root all the way up to the throat. This will be a good week to surrender to where life is taking you. Okay. The experience and the feeling of that experience. So, what are you experiencing and how is it making you feel? Okay. So, if you notice, there's an emphasis on feeling our way into our next direction. Okay. Lots happening on Monday, and we'll be sensing these feelings throughout the week. So, all the non emotionals out there, I'm talking to myself as well, need to strap in. Like, you need to prepare yourselves. This is the week of a ride. Okay. There's an extra wave also coming in this week. We'll have a brief pressure. We're going to move to now late Thursday or early Friday, depending on where you are in the world. There's going to be a brief pressure with the south node and the moon. And the pressure of the moon is going to be releasing parts of our struggle. Okay. And asking us to surrender to the process. Because a lot of us are going to be doing this. I'm going to just, if you're on YouTube, I'm going to show you something and I got to move some stuff out of the way because I will end up smacking it or maybe I'll hit myself in the face. Who knows? Let's see what happens. Okay. So this is what this week's going to look like visually. Okay. Okay. And that's the demonstration that you all needed to see. Okay. You needed to see that. It's important. People are really enjoying my visuals lately, so I need to keep going. You tell me I'm doing something right, I'm gonna make it extra. So anyway, so that's the visual for this week. Enjoy. Enjoy that. Okay. So where was I? I lost my place after all of that. Okay, so we're moving to Saturday. Okay. So after we get off the struggle bus, we move to Saturday and we enter a new program with a focus on our spirit and an awakening to our spirit and what's going to help us hold the pose and ground ourselves into this feeling because that's what this energy does. And what's grounding us is a desire to bond. A question to ask with this new program is, do I even want to bond? And it's going to be an important question to ask because on Saturday, we're going to move into Pisces season, which feels like we just got into Aries. I mean, just got into Aquarius. We're moving to Aries after Pisces. Excuse me. I'm already jumping ahead. So it feels like we were just in Aquarius. But that kind of makes sense with all the water coming in this week that we're now entering into Pisces season at the end of the week. So that's happening on Saturday. So let's move to the biggest event of this week. Okay. Kind of also pouring into next week. As I said, it's teeter-tottering on Sunday and Monday. So the biggest event of this week, and that's the new moon Pisces. Okay, so we enter the season of Pisces on Saturday and then Sunday and Monday. Okay. We have a new moon. And so where was I? So this is going to bring a huge shift because this energy is moving us into March. Okay. This is where, again, get ready to pick up the fucking baton. I hope you have your bags packed because we're about to get blasted off into the future. Okay. So Saturn in March, and we'll go a little bit more in detail, but I'll tell you, I already went into very much detail for our yearly forecast that I'm tapped out with this conversation a little bit. But we do have finally in March, Saturn will be moving into Pisces, which is going to be a huge fucking deal. Okay. Anytime an outer planet moves into a new sign, huge fucking deal. That's why I was like, everybody come into the cosmic community in January because I went very detailed and I gave very specific dates on things. So definitely If you joined us for the yearly forecast in the cosmic community in January, highly recommend all of you to go back and listen to what I said, especially when we were talking about Saturn moving into Pisces, because it's about to be time. So just I want to preface that. So new moon Pisces is also bringing for us or asking us to plant our seeds for our future, because that's what new moons do, after all. The start of a new cycle. Okay, we're about to start a new cycle. So, what does this new energy and cycle bring? Well, Pisces is a mutable water sign and it brings wisdom with it, as it's the wisest and it's the oldest sign of the zodiac. Okay. Pisces rules the 12th house. This is all about spirituality and the underworld. So that's always going to be the flavor. You want to look at what is the flavor of that astrological sign. Okay. And so that's the flavor of Pisces. And so it's asking us, because we're, I think, 12th house, end of a cycle, right? We're really, again, as I said, we're at the end here. We're still at the end. We keep thinking, oh, we're done here. We're not fucking done. Okay. This is when Pisces comes in, that's when we're fucking done. Okay. So it's asking us this season to finally wrap up some loose ends. Now, you know, we're officially entering into a new zodiac new year after this. Whenever Aries comes in, that's the beginning. Okay. Pisces is the end, Aries is the beginning. So we're also going to be getting another wave coming in with this energy as well, on communication, on our pressure to support our community emotionally during this new moon. Okay. So we have a lot of waves. We have a lot of waves this week. And so the new moon is happening with the flavor of this about abundance. This is all happening with our abundance of spirit. Okay. And about provoking the spirit into feeling. Pisces is a water sign after all. Okay. So, and what this is asking us to do is to allow the spirit to be provoked into our future selves, right? Because we're closing out. Pisces is a closeout. Okay. So Pisces is also psychic. It holds a lot of psychic abilities, and it's a representation. If you look at the symbolism of Pisces, right? It's two fish that are swimming away from each other. Okay. It represents the yin and the yang, the light and the dark. Okay. And so this new moon is inviting us to find balance and harmony between the light and the dark. And the spirit is what holds that. The spirit is what holds the light and the dark from within. So this new moon is asking you to plant the seeds of awakening your spirit. Mic drop. The end. And that's it's really going to be setting us up for the year now. Like, I know we've been I feel like, since we started in January, each new moon and full moon is kind of giving us the pieces, and now it's like, okay, we're at a final completion of everything. And March is, as I've been saying, when I said in our yearly forecast, March is takeoff time. We're still like, now we're in preparation. We're wrapping up and preparing now with new moon Pisces.
Awesome. I was going to say your movements were like that. The wacky waving inflatable arm tube man. Is that what he's called?
Yes.
And when you were doing the moves. So that's all. I feel like that's completely appropriate. And there's going to be just hang on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So on that, with all of that said, and I'm going to listen, obviously I'm listening to you again when I edit this, but I feel like there's a lot more to take away. Like when you listen to it again, there's like multiple things that are like little breadcrumbs here and there. So I pulled the King of Swords,
Oh, yeah.
which is all about clarity and movement. And what's interesting is most of the cards that are the king, queen, page, princess, whatever you might call them, whatever the four are at the top there, he's looking directly at you or whoever is reading. Most of them are facing one way or the other, which points
Right.
to direction, like whichever way they're facing. So like him looking toward the front of the card or toward, he's not in his peripheral. He's not looking for direction, but he knows there's like some sort of clear cut decision that needs to be made here.
Mm.
And when you're clear, and it's going to be a difficult time because we have all these emotional waves in transit,
Like
allow
every wave,
yourself
it's like literally every wave's coming in this week.
every single one.
Not
So
every,
this
I want to say not every single one, but almost. It's going to feel that way though.
it
Especially
feels
for the non-emotionals, it's going to feel that way.
Yeah. So this will be a week. This is a card maybe to remind you it's okay not to make a decision in the middle of a wave. For the
Mm.
non emotionals, we don't really know what that feels like until we're in the middle of it or after the fact. And even for
Well,
the emotionals,
it's when the wave really leaves for us non-emotionals, and then for the emotionals, it's really when almost like I say emotionals are walking through some like fog, and it's almost
mhm,
like when the fog lifts in between, and you can kind of see in between the fog. That's when you have a moment of clarity. When you're like about 60 to 80% clear, like the fog, think of it as a weather report. Okay, this is a weather report, and that we're doing here. And so when the fog lifts, whether for us non emotionals, it's really going to be more so when the wave leaves. So we're going to have to wait a little bit of time because there's so much waves coming in. You'll have to see what's in store for you next week. But it's really about looking at what do you really want for this next year, especially as we're approaching March, that's going to be entering Aries season, right? And getting us ready to take off into the new year. Yes, we're finally in the new year now, but as we can see with the planets and the stars, they're saying there's still a little bit left to do. There's still, I know that it's like there's always work to be done, but we're still wrapping up some loose ends. That's what this new moon's about. So that's what I feel like this card's also saying.
yeah. And it's also a good, like, there's butterflies. They talk about the butterflies on his throne here. That's a lot of symbology of like transformation. And you think about like we have to go through all of the cocoon stages, the gross sludgy black darkness of transformation, of uncovering all your layers and really looking at what's underneath everything and then going through that kind of transformation to something on the other side. And I feel like that's kind of how a wave is too. It's like when you're in it, you're like up in it, you're really excited about something, you could be down in it, you could be really low, you could be feeling, darkness or whatever. And then when you come to a point where things are kind of like leveled out, and it's never going to be like straight on,
Never.
but when you feel like you've come out from the clouds, and also the clouds too on the card here,
Oh yeah.
there is a break in the clouds. It's kind of, things are kind of moving away. And I mean, you can take this week to kind of just allow yourself to ride it and not have to make a whole lot of sense of everything.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a week to be making sense of anything. What you
No.
see will not be. Okay? So allow yourself to experience. That's what this week is offering you, a chance to experience. And also remember what it is that you truly want and don't let go of that. And that's what you want to plant with the new moon is what you truly want and what the spirit wants. That's what is this? Ask your spirit. What does it want for this new year as we're kind of, tying up the last bits here. And then finally next month, we'll be able to take everything that we planted. And I look at new moons as we're entering the void. Everything's dark. Right? You don't see the moon. Like the
Right.
moon, like full moon is illumination, right? It's where everything that you've been planting for that cycle comes into fruition. But for new moons, it's the opposite. It's about desire. What is it that you desire, that you wish to plant, that you want to see come to fruition this year? That's what new moon Pisces is going to be about. And that's what every new moon really represents. And it's you're entering the dark. There's nothing you get to create. You get to create the next cycle for yourself with new moons. Everything's dark. I look at it as we're entering the void. We're stepping into darkness. And it's like, okay, you've got your crayon. You got your crayon. What do you want to draw? What do you want to draw for that cycle? Okay. So that's the way that I see it.
Love it. Okay, so for the oracle card, I pulled the Priestess. And it asks, how are you being called to step up and lead? The Priestess is a teacher dedicated to service, freedom, and leadership. You don't need to have it all together to lead. In fact, it helps if you don't. No one wants a perfect angel who hasn't made any mistakes. Let your life be your message. Don't underestimate the power of sharing your story. It's by hearing someone else's journey that we feel less alone. We realize that we are actually all in this thing called life together. The difference between the follower and the leader is that a leader has the courage to go first. In stepping out, the way they shine on the path for others to venture out for what? In stepping out, they shine a light on the path for others to venture forward too. Don't fret too much about trying to work out who is in your tribe, and don't get stuck in age, income, hobbies, or occupation. But the best way to discover your tribe is to look in the mirror. If you feel called to lead, chances are it's because at some point in your life you longed for someone to lead you. Your tribe are longing for exactly the same thing as you are and were, and might only be one step behind you. They might even be right along beside you. You don't need anyone's permission, just the courage to stand up. So embrace your struggles, the peaks and the troughs. You don't need to know the way, just believing that you have a way and that you might make a difference is the way to go. Your tribe is waiting for you, so step forward so they can find you.
Like I wrote that card.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Literally, I'm like, I always tell people, when you come with me, it's gonna get a little messy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I am not here to tell you that I know everything. I know a lot of things. I do know a lot of things. And I know a lot of things that went wrong. I can tell you all the fucking mistakes that I've made. And maybe even some that I'll continue to make. And that no one's perfect. And I like to say, I'm always striving for better. I want to be professional, especially as a rising Capricorn, but you never want to be too far away, especially if you're trying to take some people with you. You never want to be like too high up where they can't reach you. So it's still got to be a little messy. Like we still got to be a
Yeah, and
little messy.
this perfect is not a real thing
It's
anyway.
not.
Like there's
Even
nobody's
even the
ever
ones that represent that, that's not real.
it's not real and you can see through it. There's no one is ever that perfect cookie cutter version of whatever they think. It's a facade. It's not real.
Instagram is a lie.
Instagram is a lie. Sorry, guys.
Everyone that's showing
Filters
up,
and
the filters, and oh
yeah.
my gosh, who is? I don't know why. I had a visual of Madonna in my head right now. That woman. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to go judgment. Have you seen her lately?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what that's what homogenization does to you.
Yeah.
That's what society does to you.
Just
And we live in a world where we think we can't age gracefully. And
yeah,
even if
it's
we're
too
not,
sad. It's sad. We gotta just be you, be yourself and
just be yourself. I mean, listen, I'm all power to you. I came from the beauty industry. Okay. All power to you if you want to get some work done.
sure.
What is the extreme of that?
Yeah.
What's the cause of that? What's going on internally? Like if you need to do it to feel good about yourself in a lot of ways, I say go do it. But how far are you going to take it?
Yeah.
I look at, Gate 15, the love of humanity. We tend to go to extremes often. And often it has nothing to do with us. It's us trying to seek validation outside of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only thing. I'm not here to tear apart Madonna. Madonna, you do you. You've done a
You do
lot of
you.
great things.
Yeah.
But are you loving yourself? Because I don't know. I'm a vessel of love. I can always spot where people are
Yeah.
not in the love of self.
You gotta love yourself first.
Gotta love yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
And fuck all the haters. You know? There's listen, before we go here, there's always gonna be haters.
Mm-hmm.
There's always gonna be people that are going to try you. There's always going to be people that are going to not like you just for being you.
Mm-hmm.
But do you like you? Is the question to ask yourself. So as you step in to this next cycle at the end of this week and beginning of next, ask yourself, do I like me? And can I ask for help from my higher self, from spirit to move me into this next direction? That's where we're going because we're gonna need to get our life raft this week. We're gonna need to get our vests. We're gonna need to get
Floaties,
our floaties, a
helmets.
paddle, our helmet. Like we're going into like the rapids.
Mm.
That's what
Yeah,
we're
we're
going.
going whitewater rafting, guys. So
We are.
just, get in and hang on to the little side thing and paddle. Just paddle as hard as you can. You'll
Yeah,
come up.
yeah.
Even if it
Even
flips
if
over, you always
even if
come
it
back up.
flips, yeah, flip it back over yourself. You be in charge of your life, okay? And also surrender to the fucking right.
Oh God, it's making
We
my eyes
can be in
water.
both places. What?
It's making my eyes water just thinking about it.
Oh, there's gonna be a lot of water this week.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, all right.
don't
So
forget to let us know if you enjoyed this episode. Like, comment,
yeah, give
subscribe,
us a thumbs
share it with
up
a
on
friend,
YouTube.
give us a thumbs up, send us an email.
Yeah, we
You
love
know,
hearing from you guys. We
yeah, we
do.
do.
We really do. And we are here for you. We show
Mhm.
listen.
We're here for
We
you.
show up week after week for you guys, okay? We already
Mhm.
know what's fucking going on.
There should be a box somewhere. It's probably on Spotify
It
that
is
you
on
can
Spotify.
write in there to, tell us how you enjoyed it, or you can always, there's also a form in our description, which you were talking about the Q&A. You can ask a question there.
Oh yeah. We are going to be doing more Q&A. So if you have a question, everything's down below in the description and our show notes. So check us out. We've got a lot going on. We've got a lot coming for us and for you. And we have our variable intensive starting in spring. We're almost there. So we'll let you guys know, as some of you have asked about it. It is coming soon. We'll be putting out a wait list. I also have another workshop coming in March on magic. If you're interested in magic,
Mm-hmm.
Leah will be joining us for that as well. I'll be doing it with somebody else, but Leah is going to be joining us for the class. And I also have another class in Asheville at the end of this month. So just make sure you're following us so that you can be in the know on everything going on. And we'll definitely see you over there on the next one, guys.
We'll see ya.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Crystal and I are really here as defined hearts to provide value to you with our unique insights. If you have found any of this episode valuable to you, we ask that you share with a friend, tag us with a highlight on Instagram, and write us a review so we can reach more people. Human design and astrology are tools to guide us toward our transformation. You are a unique and beautiful being, and we encourage you to let that light inside of you shine bright. See you in the next episode, friends.